wide left. And again, wide left. Twice. Greg, do we have a full-on kicking disaster on our hands? So before we dive in, I'm Danny Decker. This is Greg Prinz. Welcome to the People's Purple Show. What do you think, man? Should we be freaking out?
I mean, there is cause to be freaking out, okay? I'm going to tell you why, all right? He's a rookie kicker, and this is all he knows. See, if we have Kai Forbath missing these field goals. Kai Forbath has already hit a huge field goal to make the Minneapolis Miracle possible. I like that a little better. The fact that he's a rookie scares me a little bit, all right? But we have one more game to get him into shape before the season.
Yeah, I mean, you made a good point when we were talking about this the other day. Why do people think it's a good idea to go sign a rookie kicker? Because, rookies, their whole career, their NFL careers, depending on this, there's so much pressure. You couldn't see more of a contrast than between Daniel Carlson and Sebastian Janikowski last week. Janikowski looked like he just rolled out of bed, like he was smoking a cigarette on the sideline, like he didn't care at all, and he just comes out and nails kicks, versus this rookie kicker might turn into a head case.
I mean, Sebastian can barely get his jersey on, right? And he's out there, and he's like, if they cut me, who the hell cares? I've been doing this for so long. And you have Dan Carlson, who's probably talent-wise, sure, maybe be more of a prospect. They say he's like, oh, he's tall, his foot's big, he can... But, I mean, he understands that if he misses a field goal in the preseason, which he did, everybody's thinking, yeah, we may just cut you, and you may never get a chance anywhere else. And NFL teams that say, hey, who is this guy? He was a rookie, he came in and he missed 2 field goals right off the bat. That's all he did. Nobody's going to give him another chance. I mean, that could literally be it. It could be this or Postman. And that's going through his head, so...
All I can say is if this season comes down to our freaking kicker missing field goals, and that's what costs us, oh my gosh, just can't do it. Anyways, all right, what else do you think about the game?
Okay, some good things about the game. I thought Kirk Cousins played better than he did against Jacksonville. DirecTV cut out, and we didn't get to see the one drive he had, but I've watched that throw he had to Diggs, the back shoulder, and it is gorgeous. So obviously an exciting play there. The offense looked good driving down the field. If Carlson hits his field goals, those are 3 scoring drives right off the bat by our offense. Defense, I mean, okay, it's a better offense than we faced the first 2 weeks. But our run defense really just had a ton of holes. And I mean, Zimmer said that they got caught in a lot of traps of just delayed handoffs up the middle, and it really just looked bad, in my opinion. So that didn't look that great, but I liked Iloka later in the game making some plays. Direct result of how big he is. He deflected a ball that was intercepted, and I was like, that's exactly what I picture a big safety doing.
Exactly. I feel like it really was a kind of a mixed bag. We obviously wanted to see the Vikings come out and just kill it. But if you look at other teams around the league, we were talking about this yesterday too. Nobody looked that good, honestly. Most offenses looked pretty rocky. So I don't know. I don't think it's anything to freak out about. But at the same time, I think Kirk Cousins missing Adam Thielen on that little out and up route and just missing him badly, that was kind of painful. He hasn't found a real good rhythm with Adam Thielen yet. He's kind of underthrown him a few times, just kind of missed him all around. So that's maybe a slight area of concern. I mean, there's plenty of time to get it figured out. And to your point about the defense, you want to see the run defense look a little stronger. But I also read after the game that Zimmer thought that the Seahawks might have game planned a little bit more than you typically do in a preseason game, and kind of called some specific runs to kind of exploit Sheldon Richardson and some of his tendencies. And it's like, what, we're playing the Seahawks later on this year, so I have no problems with us coming out with a real vanilla game plan. And if they kind of tipped their hand and showed us a little bit of what they're going to do when we meet, well, then great. That's a good thing. So I don't know. I would have liked to see a better performance. But to your point, man, the Cousins moved the offense down the field, the first 3 drives. So not freaking out over here.
Yeah. And I mean, and we've continued to look awesome on 3rd down, which is kind of crazy. It's that's an identity of our team. It happened last year. It's happening this year so far in preseason. But I mean, again, it's preseason. I mean, if you didn't focus as much on preseason and just checked on during the regular season last year, you'd have never known we had a horrible preseason.
Exactly.
If we were analyzing every preseason game last year like this, then we would have been, in shambles as well.
Mike Boone is kind of another bright spot from the game. He looked really good. I think, and Rock Thomas, unfortunately for him, missed the game. So
that's a big one, man.
It's really kind of an interesting battle between those two guys for the third running back spot. And I think I mentioned last week my opinion, Rock Thomas might be a little better suited for sort of the pass catcher role, the that out in space role, and Mike Boone is probably the better all-around runner. But too bad we didn't get to see that battle, really happen last week. But maybe we'll see it this week. So
hope so.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna get to a letter from Uncle Louie. So he actually sent me a card, and for some reason it's a Christmas card. So thanks, Uncle Louie. And Uncle Louie says, "Wide left," and then he says in a different ink color, probably written half an hour later, "and again." And that's it. So, yeah, thanks, Uncle Louie.
Thanks, Uncle Louie. It's good to hear from you.
It had to be wide left, right? I mean, Gary Anderson in '98 misses wide left. Blair Walsh misses wide left. It's just... Can we just miss to the right? You know what? Just miss to the right.
Let's see, what is he watching films on Vikings kickers? Like, it's so bad, man.
Anyways, let's get to headlines.
Yeah.
So, headline number 1. Greg, the Vikings traded this week for center Brett Jones.
I am really excited about that. Finally, right? It's like the whole entire, like, were we going to draft somebody? Didn't happen. Now we're going to trade or pick up somebody? Didn't happen. And finally, here we are after preseason game number 3, and we trade for a center. I mean, he said he was on the flight over, and Brett did, and he was just like, man, I'm really excited, but like, it seems like it was a little late. Like, he's a little nervous about coming in so late, but that's just, it's such a relief. Just to know also that he can kind of switch around and play different spots in the offensive line. He's not really like just constricted to only center. So I don't know. I'm really excited to see him kind of move around. I wasn't too upset with the way our offensive line was playing, but I think this can only help. So
absolutely,
I'm excited about it. All right, Danny. So Trevor Siemian remains the number 2 quarterback ahead of Kyle Sloter. What do you think about that?
I don't understand what Mike Zimmer is thinking. I think that most of us who watch the game as fans pretty clearly see that Kyle Sloter has been the better quarterback. Statistically, he's been the better quarterback. He's made more plays kind of in crunch time. He's also the eye test looked like a better quarterback. The only thing I will say is the level of competition he's playing against is inferior to what Simeon's going up against.
Sure.
My hope would be that Sloter gets to start tomorrow or whenever the game is on Thursday night, and that we get to see him against a little higher level competition. Mm-hmm. But he certainly looks like the better quarterback. He's younger. I actually love that we have him, and frankly, whether he's the number 2 or the number 3 quarterback, either way, we've got him. And if something goes wrong with Kirk Cousins, if he decides to become a full-time scientist, and instead of play quarterback for the Vikings, Sloter is somebody who could step up and compete for that starting job down the road. So,
agree.
All right, so Everson Griffin returns to practice.
Finally, right? I mean, was there any is there any more lack of information on any player other than like, hey, he cut himself, there's an infection, like, get back to you later? And it was like, what does that mean? Like, is he gonna amputate his leg or it was so, I don't know. It's a huge sigh of relief. Obviously, he's one of our best defensive players. It was exciting to see Danielle Hunter on the right side, and he was having a lot of success. And I'm unsure what it's going to look like moving him back to the left, because he kind of had a quiet year last year, having the year he had the year before that when it was a rookie, right, 2 years ago, mm-hmm. And he was kind of a monster. And last year was a little more quiet. It was exciting seeing him on the right side in the preseason, and I wonder if that's kind of what's allowing him to play a little better, like moving to that right side, or if he's going to be as effective on the left. But either way, with somebody like Brian Robinson, where he kind of comes in on third downs anyways, I'm sure Zimmer's going to find a creative way to use all of them. But no, super excited to hear that Griffin's finally back, and that it's like a full week before the season starts, so we're not like counting down into like the game time decisions. So no, I'm really happy.
Awesome.
All right, last headline. So Zimmer expects that Elflein will come back off the PUP list before season opener.
Oh, man. Oh, I'm sure I can just believe that at face value, right? Because first they said he's going to be ready for the spring practices, and then they're like, oh, okay, he's not ready for spring, but he'll definitely be ready for training camp. And then it's like, oh, nope, he's going to start training camp on the PUP list, but don't worry, he's going to come off in like a day or two. And now here we are, just about a week before the season starts, and we just traded for a center, which hopefully is more about moving him to guard and not the fact that like Zimmer is about to put Elflein on like the injured reserve or something. I mean, I don't know. I think we need Elflein. We can't afford to lose both him and Nick Easton. That would be brutal. So let's hope he comes back. I feel like there's no way to know what to honestly expect. Like, I don't know what that means. I don't think Mike Zimmer like feels any obligation to tell any of us anything. So let's hope he comes back. Let's hope he gets some time to practice. It's definitely concerning that the starting line at this point, they're not going to have played together all preseason. You know, hopefully Kirk and Elflein have been practicing, you know, the center, you know, the snap and shotgun and all of that. So, you know, again, those are just the types of things that we can't afford to cost us football games, like fumbled snaps, missed kicks, like just can't go down that road. So let's hope he comes back. Let's hope he's ready to start the season. But I will say the fact that we brought in Brett Jones, you know, at least reduces that pressure a little bit because he could always start at center and play a couple games at center for us. So. Yeah. All right, cool. So let's talk about Thursday night. So Vikings at Tennessee, and this is the Week 4 preseason game, the most useless of all the preseason games. But still, there's a few fun battles to watch for. So what are you looking for this week?
Definitely, man. I think there's a lot actually, maybe more than I have seen in past years. But you mentioned one. I would like to see Slaughter perform again. Everybody's loved his connection with his receivers, with BB and number 9, whose name escapes me. Weineke, there we go. Yeah, the local guy. They're always exciting to watch. I mean, the end of that game was the most exciting end to a preseason game I've ever seen. I mean, it was great. That touchdown was awesome, the 2-point conversion. So that's going to be exciting, seeing more of Iloka play. Seeing our new center like get some snaps, hopefully maybe not with Cousins, but I mean just be on the field wearing a Vikings jersey, you know, as of like 3 days ago you didn't even know he was on the Vikings. And then hopefully if Rock Thomas comes back, we'll see a little bit more of that battle. I'm actually not sure of his status. Is he supposed to be playing?
I think he's supposed to be playing. I think they're both gonna play.
Well, that would be really cool to see kind of them battle it out right before the roster's decided on. But yeah, those are the big things I'm looking for.
Yeah, no, I agree. That running back battle is gonna be real interesting. I think I still feel like I'd like to see Rock Thomas step up and win that one.
I want to see him win. I'm rooting for him.
They're both such good running backs. I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. See what happens at the bottom of the receiver depth chart, like you said. That's just really interesting. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'd like to see the guys go out, compete. You know, let's avoid any injuries. Great to see George Iloka get some reps, and I imagine Brett Jones will probably play a good portion of the game. And
hope so.
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing is like let's stay healthy and.
And Carlson, we need Carlson.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, scenario. Brett Carlson misses 3 field goals. What happens? Is he just instantly fired before does he come back on the plane?
I mean, great question. I mean, yeah. On one hand, it's like, man, if we're going to miss, like, realistically, like, do we give him a few regular season games regardless to kind of get it figured out? I mean, that's
terrifying.
It is terrifying. It's terrifying. I don't know, man. Like we talked about earlier, I just feel like I would rather at the kicker position have a seasoned veteran, even if he can't hit a 60-yard field goal, right? I feel like we all like fall in love with like the long field goal, but it's like, do we really need someone that can hit a 58-yard field goal like some of the time? I would just rather a veteran that doesn't need, you know, that's not freaking out mentally and is just going to hit the 40-yard field goals every single time. So.
That's all we need, man.
All right, cool. Well, let's wrap up here, Greg. I'm going to give you a few statements, and you're just going to make a prediction.
We'll see how this goes.
All right. So, this is all based on Week 4. What are we expecting? So, what do you think, Greg? More yards from scrimmage, Rock Thomas or Mike Boone? More yards from scrimmage.
Rock Thomas.
All right. Will George Iloka have an interception? Yes or no?
No.
All right. You kind of beat me to this one, but if Daniel Carlson misses a kick, will Mike Zimmer cut him on the spot?
Oh. Yes, he will. He's going to get cut. I mean, come on. He should get cut on the spot.
All right, last question. Will Kyle Slaughter perform more like the next Tom Brady or the next Steve Young?
I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Is he going to be the next Hall of Famer or just almost a Hall of Famer? Actually, they're both going to be Hall of Famers. So I'm just saying Kyle Slaughter is freaking awesome and he's gonna kick butt. And
all right, let's go Steve Young because screw Tom Brady.
All right, sounds good, man. All right, that was it. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next time. Regular season's almost here.
Right around the corner.
Let's go.